These past few weeks have been pretty interesting for artists who happen to scroll through their timelines on Twitter, which have unfortunately been overrun by lackluster AI images of art which is supposedly meant to be an imitation of drawings and animations made by Studio Ghibli. While these images are already painstakingly annoying, artists were also subjected to read many tweets filled with hate and discrimination against every single person who ever decided to marry a pencil and produce drawings. AI art is way better. Why take days to create a drawing when you can do the same thing in seconds? The future is here. Artists are not real workers. They are lazy and are massive losers. Get a life. AI is the future and will be even bigger soon. We have enough art made by human beings. I hate it all. Artists are pretentious, self-important, and usually mentally defective. While all this drama was happening in the art community on Twitter, an artist decided to draw themselves in the Studio Ghibli art style using what they had learned from practicing drawing instead of typing up some words in an AI model. The post had over 3 million views and over 200,000 likes, with most people commending the artist for taking their time out to draw instead of just following the herd. But while most people were cheering the artist for their work, someone took time out of their day, downloaded the artist's work, and decided to fix it because it just wasn't Studio Ghibli enough. I can't seem to find the right words to express my frustration with people on Twitter. A few years ago, we had people fixing art by redrawing it or painting it and somehow putting in effort, spending time trying to make it quote-unquote better in their own twisted way. But now we have people fixing art with AI. I thought we had left this whole fixing art thing in the past and have all agreed it is just bad and awful and pointless. Why are there still people casually patrolling the internet and exclusively fixing artists drawing with AI because the artists say they don't want to use AI in their drawings? What even is the point of all of this? Someone made a tweet of an image throwing a pencil at the art fixer, which is just a funny little gag at people who rely on using AI for drawing instead of actually learning how to draw. But then the art fixer replied with an image giving the pencil to an AI. Like, you can't just make this up. How bad has it gotten that we're giving all our drawing problems to AI to solve? No one wants to learn anything anymore. Other people in the comments started calling the art fixer out, clearly stating how bad and soulless their image looked compared to the original drawing, but they just kept coping hard in the replies, claiming the people who were calling them out for using AI were trying to be funny and the joke got old pretty fast, which is rather silly if you take a second to think of it instead of letting AI do all the thinking for you. Why do you think it's okay to fix someone else's drawing and not just fixing it casually, which is also wrong? Going the extra length to use AI to make it better. Did the artist ask for your help? They obviously didn't seek for your opinion, and they clearly stated that they wanted to make the drawing by themselves without any use of AI. So ignoring their personal values and feeding their art to AI is just absolutely wrong, no matter how you want to look at it or whichever excuse you want to use. Some other weirdos in the comments were making fun of the artist, telling them how they just wasted their time drawing when AI would have done a better job faster, and how they should give up and quit art because drawing wasn't for them and AI looks better. Someone even said, at the end of the day, you still copied Ghibli's design. Is this better because the end result is worse than what Ghibli could have done by themselves? Or is this just to show that you are not on par with what AI could have come up with? It's better because the artist made something they're proud of by themselves, using skills they've learned over time. If that's so complex for you to understand, then I don't know what else to tell you, man. Another artist posted their art, which this time had absolutely nothing to do with the AI trend, and the artist was just showing a work in progress of their Genshin Impact fan art. But another Twitter user attempted to fix the drawing using AI, this time claiming they fixed the shading in the original drawing by inherently turning it into a Studio Ghibli character. The art fixer even had the nerve to ask the artist if they liked the fixed version, because somehow they thought in their head they were doing the artist a favor by fixing their drawing, and the artist needed to show them appreciation because they they had made their drawing better. Numerous other artists on Twitter began calling them out for fixing the artist's drawing and ruining it without consent, and telling them that the Studio Ghibli AI trend was only making horrible images compared to actual artists. The comments kept on trooping in hundreds, and while you would only assume the person fixing the art will automatically feel sorry for themselves and see how what they're doing is bad and pointless, they posted this to their account, and I quote, "It's just so devastating that sharing a simple image online could inspire such responses like death threats and folks literally celebrating potential violence against me. Why is everyone so hateful to me? What type of sick, twisted individual do you have to be to immerse yourself in such delusion that people are celebrating violence against you? Obviously, sending death threats and promoting harm against a person regardless of what they did is a horrible thing to do, but fixing someone else's art and claiming it's better without the person's consent is not that great either. Honestly, how entitled and self-absorbed can you be to use someone else's art for AI when literally no one asked you? Most importantly, the artist didn't ask you to. Who are you to do that? And the nerve to add "hope you like it" doesn't exactly help. Every single comment under their post was telling them that they deserved it and expressing how much of a piece of shit they were. And while I don't totally agree with some of them, which were a bit extreme, they in fact did deserve all the treatment they were getting from everyone in that comment section. To add salt to the already deep and hemorrhaging injury, a member of the popular esports org FaZe Clan made a ridiculous tweet that stirred up a massive ruckus on Twitter, starting more drama between artists and possibly everyone else. Loving the new AI. To be straight up honest, I think people who spend their time learning art and creating art should just quit. AI is the future and it's phenomenal. Not only was this free, but no complaints at all. I am an AI artist. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's unpack it, shall we? To be straight up honest, I think people who spend their time learning art and creating art should just quit. This doesn't sit right to me and doesn't make any sense at all. While this might seem like a rather sensible and groundbreaking take to a non-artist, it really could get you punched in the face saying this in front of a person who is extremely passionate about drawing. To artists, making images and spending the time learning how to draw isn't just something we do because we have nothing else to do with our time or because we're jobless. Drawing is a thing we take pride in. Spending hours on an image, struggling through the ugly stage to get it right, and then finally seeing the finished image slowly emerge in front of you is a fulfilling feeling you possibly wouldn't understand unless you're passionate about something too. What even makes the situation truly ugly is this streamer has millions of followers and is pretty popular on the internet. So the chances of someone within his young and impressionable audience seeing this tweet and then immediately taking it to heart is pretty high. The tweet itself has over 10 million views. Half of it is possibly because it's just controversial, and a portion of that because some people just automatically agree with what he's saying. Fortunately for us, a number of people in the comments began questioning if he really meant it, calling him out and saying the post was just rage bait, and to an extent I would have also agreed with them, because for someone with a platform as huge as his, making a statement like that is totally uncalled for and is just brand risk. But then I found this video and oh my.
I mean, never have seen a tweet that got 9.3 million impressions off a fucking AI picture. Every fucking quote tweet in this is talking about how we hate artists. 182,000 likes. What if we just paid artists? What if you just shut the fuck up? A bunch of fucking losers. 21 gay pride autistic ADHD stoner. Yo, I can't make this up! I deadass can't make that up! Shit look corny. Yo, I'm noticing a pattern. Everyone in FaZe is a Nazi and pedophile and a terrorist! What?! What the fuck?!
So in the video, he goes through some tweets from people who, some of which were definitely artists, or at the very least were just trying to learn how to draw, and was just making fun of them for leaving comments about FaZe promoting the use of AI without any tangible reason as to why he didn't agree with them. I can't tell if this is a joke or not, but clearly he seems pretty serious with the way he was making fun of them. The annoying thing is, his chat is also going to go off of what he's saying and totally agree with him for the most part, unless other people start calling him out for being weird on the internet, which is practically what started happening. You will never know what it's like to create beautiful masterpieces with your own hands, and you don't deserve to feel any of that. Now pick up a pencil and stop being a lazy Twitch streamer. Be it or not, you shouldn't promote this to your middle school fan base. What I'm gathering from what I've observed about this new AI trend in the last couple of days is that some non-artists have a lot of disdain for artists, and AI art is sometimes used more as a get-fucked artist than a tool of convenience. People were so mad in the comments calling out Ronaldo and disagreeing with his statement against artists and his stance on AI being the future. And apparently he got kicked from FaZe, which is kind of understandable for making such an inconsiderate comment. But knowing how most of these streamers and their organizations go, the tweet could potentially be another bait post just to farm more engagement from people already upset about the entire situation. Asmon Gold, who is another popular streamer with a pretty huge platform and millions of views across his social media, also made a comment about the trend, and as you'd expect, his statements were just so...
Think about like the tech for it to understand like, okay, each one of these things is a pillar. These are people walking down here. Like this to me is fucking crazy. So you're gonna see this happen a lot more. Now there's gonna be a lot of people that aren't gonna have any jobs pretty soon. Like I would definitely say like that's, you know, you have the, what is that, the 9 leaving Minas Morgul. Like, oh fuck man, this is insane. And so you've got Rivendell here. Yeah, so if you are an artist, this has been a really bad week for you. And I want to promise you that it's going to get worse, okay? So if you're an artist and this is upsetting you and you're worried, I want to promise you that it's only going to get worse. This is only the beginning. There will be like man-made horrors beyond the comprehension of the human mind. You don't even know what it's going to be like, right? And I would focus on a career change. Yeah, exactly. And focus on, like, go be a plumber or something like that, right?
Yay, way to go, Asmon. Let's all just discourage all the kids that had dreams of becoming an animator or concept artist. Let's all spread fear among them so they can change their career path, since we have nothing else better to do than to spread rumors on the internet. That seems like a rather decent thing to say to all the millions of followers you have across your social media platforms. Well, as you would have expected, a number of people also agreed with him, saying AI had come to stay and was going to either change the entire art industry for the most part or possibly run artists out of work. That is, if they didn't adapt or find ways to use AI in their work. Other people started pointing out how shitty of a take this was, because the AI models Asmon was praising for being the future of art were literally trained from stolen art from actual living artists. So essentially, without an artist making the drawings in the first place, there wouldn't be any drawings or art for the AI to learn from or copy. AI models still need to be trained. My assumption is that animation companies will still hire artists to create and design art to use in their own proprietary training models. Unique art created by artists and AI models speeding production. Job opportunities will still exist. Art is fundamentally coming from the human soul and mind, while being one of the purest forms of expressions us humans have. I truly believe if our artistic mind vanishes, it will be truly devastating for humanity, and the consequences will be much more than artists losing their jobs. The complete lack of understanding of what it is to be an artist here is frankly baffling, considering this person has spent his entire life consuming what they make. Many comments like these, all disagreeing with Asmon's take and calling him out for making blanket statements, were all littered across his comment section. People accused him of being a disgusting human and cautioned people not to take advice from him because he apparently had horrible takes and lives with dead cockroaches and rats in his room for some reason. I don't know how true that is. And while the community was busy battling with Asmon and his statements, another streamer also decided to add their own 2 cents to the situation.
I want you to see
I love AI slop images. Well, what do you call everything slop these days? I gotta be honest with you. I feel like slop is becoming a word to like a buzzword to discredit anything in. And let's keep it silent. A lot of AI art coming out. It is literally better than most artists' best work that they could. Hey, if something does better by itself than an artist can for the entire life, I mean, brother, I gotta be honest with you, I don't really give a shit. It's just better. I don't care. Why would I care? I don't consume the method. I consume the product. If this gives me a better product, I gotta give it the credit it's due. It's a good product. I don't give a fuck about the method. I don't give a shit.
While it took me a lot more than just holding the phone close to my ear to fully grasp what he was saying, I found every single point he made in the video easily debunkable, starting with the first one. A lot of AI art that comes out is literally better than most artists' best work. True or false? False. To the untrained eye, a drawing made by an AI modeled after another popular artist obviously might seem to be objectively better than drawings made by a real artist, but it actually isn't. And to be fair, the disparity isn't even close. For example, here's this image modeled after the art style of Sam Does Art. As you can tell, it seems to have an understanding of what his style looks like and could potentially spit out drawings made from mimicking his work. But when you put this AI image side by side with an actual image made by Sam, you can see that it's not even close. The AI image looks extremely stiff compared to Sam's art, and it doesn't have the careful, mindless strokes and emotions that come from every single thought that went through Sam's head while he was making the painting. Even when we compare this to another artist who paints in a similar style as Sam, the difference is still not even close. The AI drawing just looks awful all around. So saying an AI image is better than most artists' finished drawing is just a hypothetical statement that is entirely wrong. His second point being, I don't consume the method, I consume the product, is also kind of wrong, because the product you claim to consume could only be made possible with the method you're trying so hard to avoid. It's just like saying you don't care for LeBron's training, you only watch LeBron because he's LeBron. But the truth is, LeBron wouldn't be the LeBron you know today without his training. I don't know if you're getting me, or maybe I'm just stupid. Someone called this peak consumerism, which is quite a rather funny way to look at the situation. A lot of other people in the comments seem to agree with what XQC was saying, claiming he was right and that was exactly what the consumer was thinking, because they didn't care how a product or game was made and were only consuming the final product if it was good or they enjoyed it. But if we take that same analogy and use it in movies, people still call out bad movies regardless of how they were made. So it appears that claim is also false, because consumers can still tell if a product is bad, subpar, or is just a pretentious version of a better product. Another fixing art debacle, which in my opinion is probably the dumbest out of all of them, is the one that happened after this amazing artist made a tweet where they showed a page of their sketchbook after they had spilled coffee across it, and then showed how they drew over the shapes of the coffee and turned the image into a unique, fine piece of art. Their tweet almost instantly went viral, gaining a whopping 30 million views and over 400,000 likes. Someone then quoted the tweet stating how this wouldn't have been possible to achieve using AI, because clearly it had to have come from a human for the drawings to feel genuine and authentic, especially since it wasn't just turning a random image into a popular art style, and instead it was the artist's own visualization of the shapes the stains made on the page and how they turned each of the shapes into different forms ranging from people to both animals and cars, which is what made the drawing feel so much more genuine and remarkable. And to be frank, instead of Jerry, I definitely agree with everything the person who quoted the tweet said. An AI couldn't possibly be able to fathom a drawing like this. But to prove people who think artists are wrong, an AI advocate took the image and decided to fix it, but also blessed us with their remarkable thought process behind their conception.
AI will enhance artists, not replace them. Respectfully, to say AI is useless for artists is just a fear and bias. Conversely, being an artist that vows to never use AI can also be valuable. For example, people buy handmade stuff rather than something made out of a factory because of its authenticity. You either fight the wave or join it. Both can yield fruits.
I placed both images side by side. Be honest, which one do you think looks better, feels genuine, and is the better drawing? The image made with AI or the drawing made by an actual artist? I'll let you decide. I think the answer is pretty obvious. We shouldn't have to get ahead of ourselves here. There's literally no argument the artist's drawing is 10 times better than the foul-looking AI-generated slop, which just lacks any semblance of soul and authenticity. You can see how the AI couldn't tell what part of the coffee to leave behind and what part to turn into a drawing. And instead of drawing using the shapes of the stains, it just drew random images and filled them with darker colors to imitate the stains. Some parts, or more or less most parts of the drawing, don't even make any sense at all. Everyone rushed to the comments to point out to them how the AI generated image just proved the point that the person who quoted the artist was trying to make, saying how it lacked any form of creativity and was just totally soulless. But the fine AI gentleman wasn't going to go down without a fight. Oh no. He made another tweet where he fixed his original fix and gave us another fantastic speech to go along with it.
I agree with you guys. AI will not replace artists, but please understand that it will just enhance them. Originality will also be more valuable than ever before. You have the free choice to choose your expression. Hating AI is an understandable bias and fear. Every revolutionary concept has had resistance to it.
Are we safe? Why am I scared all of a sudden? Why does this sound like a villain speech? What is wrong with bro? How did this guy go in from a shitty image to making an even shittier image? I just can't explain anymore and I'll just let the comments do all the talking. Well, I'm glad everyone can see that these AI images are just genuinely sloppy versions of actual drawings. And while people are excited and abusing the Studio Ghibli trend, turning images into Ghibli art and whatnot, artists are still making their own drawings despite all the call-outs, insults, disrespectful statements, and side jokes made at them to mock them for ever picking up a pencil and deciding to learn how to draw. Personally, I'm always for drawing yourself and just learning how to improve. But if you want to entertain yourself and use the AI for the trend, do what you like, but don't fix anyone's art without their consent. Don't use AI to fix art. Don't steal art, and just somehow try to pick up a pencil and learn how to draw and improve daily. That is if you're up for it. Like bro said,
every revolutionary concept has had resistance to it.
Well, it looks like you've made it. Well, it looks like you've made it to the... Well, it looks like you've made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. Share the video with a friend who also hates AI and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. With all that being said, I'll see all you pretty penguins in the next video. Bye.